Hi, everybody. Let's see here. We need to go ahead and get going. All right, so plan for today is to answer some questions and then, for the most part, do a wrap up for the create task using the golf club calculator or golf club, whatever you want to call it, golf club helper, something, golf club selector app as the example and use the code from that and create all the elements that you would actually hand in. And we're also going to look at a few portions of um, the playlist from College Board that explains really everything that we've been talking about, which will be helpful. And we're not going to watch the whole thing. Every bit of it is not specifically relevant, but a lot of it is. And 100% of the questions that you would have or the bits of information that you would need to know um, is there. So let's take a look at the classroom. And there we go, a little better. Okay, so today is now 11:30, and again, just a frequent reminder. Besides washing your hands, today let's call this. I could probably just get the title from here. Let's copy that and put it here. Oh, well, that's not. How do you paste without formatting?
Control Shift V.
Paste values only. There we go. Thank you. And yeah, let's do that. Let's answer some questions first, just to um, ease into it. There was one up here from before that we didn't answer. This isn't relating to code, but I have a topic in mind. Yes, you can bounce ideas for topics off of here. The whole idea of teachers not being able to help, it's really, we're not allowed to like edit, but ideas and concepts, we are, that's well within our range for helping. So go ahead and ask. Let's see here. We have a debugging situation, and this one, update text with a function. Getting a warning. I'm not sure why. For the game, I needed to make already. You know what? Just for um, just for the sake of getting everything done, let's go ahead and do the wrap up first, and then we'll have questions at the end. And then if you have questions during the stream, you can fill out the question form from the um, classroom. Okay, so let's go to the playlist and the completing and submitting.
Let's keep going here. So that's what we'll be going through during this presentation. All right. So what you need to know. All right. So first of all, okay, what you need to submit for the Explore. Right?
Okay.
8 pages or less. All right. A lot of students.
We'll come back to this for Explore test. We'll do an Explore test example and wrap up for next week. What's going on? Okay. So for the create task, you need a video of the program running in a acceptable file format. You need your written response, which you can get the template from the classroom, create task folder, and written response template, make a copy, that sort of thing. And you need to submit your entire program code, which you are going to do with the code print tool. And this is also where you are going to put a rectangle around your abstraction and an oval around your algorithm. These are not those, but um, this is where you do it. And the video has to be one of the acceptable formats, and both of the other documents, the written responses and the program code, need to be PDF, which is easy. When you are looking at your Google Doc completed situation, you just go to print and save as a PDF, and then save it to. Can you save to Chromebook? You could probably. Oh, save to Google Drive.
Yeah, saving to Google Drive will save it as a PDF, I'm pretty sure.
Let me take this off. I don't want this to pop up. Let's see here. Save to Google Drive will. Let's look at what Google Drive looks like now. Yes, I know you can't see it. Yes, save to Google Drive does save it as a PDF, even though it saved it to my other Google Drive. Okay, so that's how you're going to get a PDF from the written response situation, and from the code print. Let's get that. From the code print, you're just going to go to print, and you can save to Google Drive here as well. It's the same setup, but they do need to be PDFs, and we will take a look at how to submit them.
Types that are allowed, and just like for the Explore video, if you chose a video program running recording tools, or an iPad or something like that, yeah, file.
Let's get to the part.
Really a quick, easy way to use, right? If you have a computer, or potentially you're running it on your device, on iOS.
Okay, so as I said before, you can. Oh, for Explore task, what is? I don't think most people are going to do a video for Explore task, but you can, and it follows the same rules as far as file formats and how you will create them. But today we're talking specifically about create task. Does it say? Well, I know it said somewhere. Computational artifact about tips for actually submitting things as they get this. One of these, I think it's in this one. One of these videos gives some good tips for
and decide whether
like some applications and Chrome extensions to record your video. And he does actually say that using your phone to record a video of the app working is fine. It just needs to be submitted in that format.
edit your response.
Which, Mr. Drusi, do you know what file format most phones record in? It seems to be so.
I would say it's probably like a MP4,
MOV maybe.
I can do some research and figure that out. Give me a second.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all creating a PDF.
You're going to select PDF, submit that file, program, those pieces actually fall. Right? So that, and then very easy. And you are an iPhone, and then create and edit your response report. It might look like this.
So Androids do .mp4.
And iOS going to be .mo.
Okay, so here are the examples. For any of the performance tasks, you can, well, specifically for the create task where you're going to be demonstrating your app and how it works. And so you would go to your share link, copy that, and will this open? No, it doesn't. And play it through this share or through this format where it's nice and clean, and you can use your phone to just record it playing, or there are some Chrome extensions, Screencastify, and there are other. I think I brought this up yesterday. Like OBS is easy to use. That's good if you're working on your personal computer. It's super easy application program to set up and record what's going on your screen. You should be able to use. Mr. Drusi, do you know if you can add Chrome extensions to school Chromebooks?
I believe you can. There's 9 people watching right now. It'd be nice if someone could chime in if they're on a Chromebook. I emailed Mr. Hammond earlier in the year about this, and he sent me a link to something. So if there's someone that has a Chromebook, we could test it out. We could get some feedback on that today. That would be great. I'm not sure though. But iPhones are .mov. I'm pretty sure is their default. So.
Okay, so either of those would work. You would just record it on your phone, somebody else holding it, and you playing it, and then email it to yourself, and attach it to. We'll show you how to what the student screen looks like for the College Board. So the Chrome extension, just Google Screencastify, and you would add to Chrome, and that is a in-browser extension for recording as opposed to OBS, which is Open Broadcast Software, something like that. Is a free program which runs separately, and you don't even need a dual screen setup. It's not that hard to figure out how to do it on a single screen. And did they give another option? So between mobile phone, Screencastify Chrome extension, and the OBS, that's easy way to record you running your program. And let's see here, he gets to.
Either way you do it, all right, you have to get that file type as one of those 4 that I showed you earlier. Okay. Now, once you do that, now you're going to have to go to digital.
Okay. I'm not sure if he said it here, but the video has to be less than 1 minute, I'm pretty sure. They don't want you playing your video for forever. Let's see if we can find it here. Create task, PDF, oh no, that's not it. Scoring guidelines. I don't know if it's in the scoring guidelines, but it is somewhere in the directions. While I was watching these videos, as an aside, in the Explore task, there is one of the written responses, 2B, does not actually use 2B does not refer to any one of the lines in the Explore task, not this one. And we'll talk about it when we get to the Explore task, but he does explain how 2B is relevant, even though it's not for a row. So look forward to that. So this is what it's going to look like when you go to your digital portfolio, which you obviously need to have your College Board account. You need to be able to get into your account, which I can't help you with if you forgot your password or something. And there are several places that will help you walk you through how to create your digital portfolio or set it up, and he's going to explain how to actually.
So here's the link to digital portfolio, so digitalportfolio.collegeboard.org. You're going to want to go there. You're going to have to log in with your credentials. So I'm going to click over here, okay, and I'm going to log in. Okay, I think I'm actually already logged in. No. Okay, So I'm logged in, all right, and it's going to take you here. Now, you're going to have some of these classes listed, okay? Now, these classes listed, okay, you might not have all of your AP classes listed, but you have to have AP Computer Science Principles. So you're going to click over there, all right? Now, when you're on here, the first thing that I want you to focus on is this table, right? So you have this table here, okay? This shows, right now, no draft, no draft, no draft, draft in, no draft. Now, when you first log in, it's going to look like this, right? Where you have no drafts, right? You have not submitted anything, okay? Now, this overview page has just some basic information, also has some links to, information here. All of this is important stuff. Okay, we're going to focus on actually submitting the documents that you have created. All right, so this is on the overview. Okay, now let's keep going. All right, so submit and create files. Okay, number one, you're going to click create on the left side, and then click individual video. All right, so remember, okay, it looked like this, create, then you click that, it'll pop out these other choices. So there's an overview for create, individual video, individual written responses, and then program code. So I'm going to start off by clicking on individual video, okay? When you click on individual video, you're going to see a place, okay, that says upload new. So file upload and submission, upload new. So you're going to click on upload new, and then you're going to select your file, and you're going to upload, all right? Now, you're going to repeat steps 1 through 3 for individual written response and program code, all right? So if I go back to my digital portfolio, all right, I click on Computer Science Principles. All right, I click on Create. All right, individual video. Right now, it's going to say Upload New, right, or individual written responses. Okay, Upload New, or program code. Upload New, right? So you're going to do.
Okay, so this is something that we haven't talked about before. Your name can't appear in any fashion, whether it's in the file name or on the document. So make sure you take it out of there. They will know who it is based on the fact that you're uploading it to your portfolio.
Do all of that, okay? Then you're going to go to Explore, right? You can click on Overview, you can look at that, Computational Artifact, okay? Now this is a place where I've already submitted something, so I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But then individual or written responses, you're going to click Upload New. So you're going to upload all 5 of your files, okay? All right, so let's keep going here. So we've submitted our create files. Now submitting Explore. Remember, you only have 2 items to submit for Explore. So you have the computational artifact, you've got the overview. Now you have all 5 files, right? You're going to have a triangle here, okay? Now you saw on my digital portfolio, still need to, if I've already submitted a particular file, okay? All right? If I've already submitted a file, okay, I'm going to be able to submit it as final. All right, so now when you click over to, let's say, individual video, okay, and you've already submitted a file, you're going to see this, okay, where it's going to say upload new, download latest, or submit final. So now you're going to have to go here and click submit final, okay? Now, when you do that, okay, you must click view file. So when you click submit final, this thing is going to pop up. Okay, now notice, there's these 3 things that you're going to check. You cannot check them until you click view file. So the College Board is asking you once again, okay, you've submitted this file, but now I want you to verify that this is indeed the correct file. All right, so you click view file. It will download your file, and so then you want to check to make sure that that file is the one that you want and that it is actually working correctly. If it's a video, of course, you want to make sure that it is working properly. All right, once you have clicked that, then you will be able to click these boxes. You must check all these boxes, okay? You're going to click next after you've checked the boxes. Then this is going to pop up. It's going to say final submission. Then, once again, you must check all of these boxes.
Okay, so obviously this is a lot of redundancy with how many times you have to affirm and confirm that everything's correct, and that's because as once you hit submit, it's final. All right, so and that has happened. There's been issues in the past which I'm not sure how or whether or not they were resolved, but people uploading like their code print PDF to the written response, and I'm not sure if they lost points, but just do it right the first time.
This is indeed the correct file. All right, so you click view file. It will download your file, and so then you want to check to make sure that that file is the one that you want and that it is actually working correctly. If it's a video, of course, you want to make sure all these boxes, okay? You're going to click next after you've checked the boxes.
Make sure you read the boxes before you click them.
All of these boxes, then you click submit. When you click submit, you're going to see a check mark on the overview page. All right? So that is completing and submitting all of your documents. All right, so at this point, after watching this video, you should understand the following. What files and file types you will need to submit for both the create and the explore performance tasks. they need to show their best work. If you need mobile tools or connectivity, or know someone who does, you can reach us directly to let us know. Go to the URL cb.org/tech to make sure that the College Board knows that either you or someone you know does not have access to a device or the internet. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, so this video is the first video in the playlist that is available on the classroom page right here. And so that should help you with everything. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up our situation for the example of the golf club helper app that we've been working on for six parts, I think. 5 parts, 6 parts. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, because it's an easy check mark, is do the screen print or code print situation. So you're going to go to the link, this link called link, Baker Frankie, and first thing you're going to do is clear out everything here, Control A, delete, and give your project a title, Golf Club Helper. And you don't have to choose other text, but just make sure your name's not in it. And then you're going to go back to your actual app. You're going to go to Show Text, and you're going to do Control A, Control C, and go back here, put your cursor up here, and do Control V. Okay, and clear oval, those are there from before. Clear rect. All right, so now I need to go through and figure out what is actually going to count as my algorithm and as my abstraction. Let me clear out a couple of these. Oh, I actually needed that one. Let's save this one for later, and we'll save that one for later. Okay, where are we? I need classroom, and I need create task, folder, and if you haven't already, you would go to the template and make your own copy. Think about your file names. When you make the PDF, when you print as a PDF, it should give you an opportunity to change the file name, or you could change it later. But don't put template. As soon as it becomes yours, as soon as you make any changes to it, it's not a template anymore. It's your written response. Okay, so you'd make a copy. Then you make sure you have your rubric up so you can look at it and make sure you get all of the points. And well, let's go through, change my mind, let's go through the questions, and when we get to algorithm and abstraction, the last two portions, 2C and 2D, that is when we will, let's not change this one, that is when we will actually add the circles and, or the oval and the rectangle to the portion that we want. Okay, so the first thing, we want about 150 words. It says must not exceed, but I know I've seen it elsewhere where it was about. But you don't need to overwhelm them. Format demonstrates running at least one. Your video must not exceed one. There we go. Must not exceed 1 minute length and not be more than 30 megabytes. Provide a written response or error notation of the video. Okay, so the program, I don't know if you could use my as a possessive pronoun, but program is written in I would say JavaScript, but when you go to upload your digital portfolio, at least last year, there was a place where you selected what programming language you used, and AppLab was one of the um, options. So you could put that as the answer. I think JavaScript is capitalized. Is it capitalized? Probably is. JavaScript. The purpose is to, I'm not going to write it out. The purpose of the app is to allow a golfer to choose, or what is to help a golfer select the correct club based on their distance from the hole, and as well as other conditions. And the video illustrates the functionality and the options. The video illustrates the options that the user has as far as inputting custom their personal distances, as well as the function of having it select a club. Okay, I don't know how many words that was, but that's where you would put that. All right. Describe the incremental and iterative process, focusing on two distinct points. Okay, so make sure that your description clearly indicates, should be indicates, but you don't need to change that. Make sure that your two distinct points in the process are parts of the process that is in designing your app. The first, you can't use like one of the videos from the College Board playlist specifically for Create Task mentions that, or gives a student example where the first point in their process was about how they wanted to make a certain type of game but decided it wasn't working and then switched to making another type of game. That is not a point in the design process of the app that they came up with. That was, part of the their experience, but it doesn't count as one of the two distinct points. So you're going to pick out two things that you came up with, and even if you have to like go back and decide, well, I knew all along I was going to have the ability to put in custom distances. You could say, at first I didn't know how to put in custom distances, but then I figured out that using sliders that didn't overlap would make sure that our primary if-else statement wouldn't break because of the way the if-else distances are set up. And make sure you mention whether these steps are independent or collaborative. There is a explanation in this document about what can be collaborative and what can be independent, but from the very beginning I instructed that you should be doing this independently so that you don't go into the gray area of what has to be independent versus what is allowed to be collaborative. So you are going to make sure to indicate that you did each of the two steps independently. I would make sure to incorporate that into each step. Like the first problem was finding a way to allow the user to put in their custom distances. Then the next sentence would be something like, I independently solved this problem by creating custom sliders that didn't overlap and that sort of thing. Let's see. And then another problem was that the custom sliders created the issue that the club selection wasn't had to be to the closest one. And if you have watched the videos of us creating the app, you would know, specifically the last one, there was a lot of advanced concepts going on in the last one. The issue that with these custom user inputs for distances, the correct club would be the closest one. So we needed to write a function, or I needed to write a function that allowed or allowed the program to find the nearest club to the user's custom inputs. I did this by creating a function that found the average between each item and the list, or the average between a particular item in the array of custom distances and the next item in the list. And then I put in parentheses like dist index 1 or index I and dist index I plus 1, just to sort of explain that that's what it did. And that was done independently. Okay, you can tell from the question that it's using you and your. That means it is appropriate to use I in the response. Here, it doesn't say anything about you and your, so it needs to be more expository, like book report type of style, where it's not saying I wrote it in JavaScript, although I suppose it would be okay. Probably would be fine, but just for your general education and your future writing styles, you want to be writing and use, if you have to, like pronouns like one. One can find the answer instead of you can find the answer if it is something that should be in that style. But if the question or prompt uses you, your, that sort of thing, it is appropriate to write I or my. Okay, so that was two distinct problems or difficulties / opportunities during the design process, and were resolved. And each one, make sure to mention that they were done independently. Okay, so 2C, capture and paste the program code that implements an algorithm. So we need to decide which counts as the algorithm. And remember, the algorithm is the one that uses maths, plus it needs to incorporate two other maths and maths or logic. So if else is logic, and I don't think the for loop would be logic, but if else or while are definitely logic things. Most of the blue while, if, and else if things are logic, and the ones that are this isn't one, this sort of plus and divided by math, that is another example of an algorithm. So we need to find a function or an area that uses those things, and let's see specifically what they say. Don't award the point for 2C. Okay, so the algorithm needs to be included in the written response, and basically after watching the the videos from the guy specifically about scoring for Create Task, this row is about as easy as it gets. They check for is at least one line of code selected, meaning is there any code in the this area, and is that selection of code less than the entire program. That's all you need for row 4, and so there's row 4 is an easy one. But in order to get the rest, you need to fit these other these other criteria. Okay, so it can't be a single instruction. You can have library calls, which I suppose the yellow get text situations are allowed, but it can't be exclusively that. It needs to have mathematical logical concepts. In your written response, this is not about selecting, but once you have selected what you consider to be an algorithm, you need to make sure to explain that explain what it does and how it does it. Okay, so this function would be it chooses the correct club, and it does it using an if-else statement of incrementing, of checking for distances in ascending order so that it finds the one that is closest to the whichever club is on the, which is, corresponds to whichever club is in the array, and results with selecting the club from the array output club. That explains how it does it, and it uses Okay, so you need to talk about how it is incorporates. Okay, so this one doesn't just we're not just talking about the if else and lower distances. I would need to mention something about how the point of it fits into the overall program by having it output the user's club based on the index that is returned. Okay, output club equals 6. Set text to check club change. Okay, so the problem is, at least for mine, I know I have good stuff here that would count for an algorithm and stuff that would count for an abstraction. Don't want to use, and I don't know this to be a specific no-no. It's not in the scoring guidelines. It's not in the rubric, but I prefer I don't think it's a great idea to use the same section of code as the algorithm and the abstraction. So at this point, we should be planning out what we're going to use for both and then go for it. But back to this, how does the portion of code address the program's, or it needs to address the program's purpose? You need to make sure that you put that portion of code in the written response. So make sure you actually copy it over to this, and which I will in a second. Okay, so that's the same thing. Responses are still eligible. Okay, so it needs to have more than one instruction. It can't be completely consist of library calls like this function, clear and reset. This is just library calls. This is nothing. I didn't really, I mean, I dragged these in here and made this function, but I didn't create set text or set property, so this clear and reset can't be part of it. It can be part of it, like it can be in, let's say I called that clear and reset somewhere in this main function. I can't count that as part of my algorithm that uses two other algorithms. Where we're still in here. Solely library calls. Neither the included algorithms nor the selected algorithm that includes two uses. Okay, so everything needs to use math or logic, and it needs to be included and identified on the code print, and the algorithm is not explicitly identified. Okay, same thing for at least one selected code segment implements the algorithm. At least one of the included algorithms. So your written response is just going to explain how that portion works. So I think I'm going to use this as my main algorithm. I'm not sure if an if-else counts as the one that it uses, but let's use check club change. Okay, so it uses check club change, which uses two other algorithms, the if statement, so if output club is this, because lie, the lie value and the win value could make it go past 0, to a club shorter than one that's available. This corrects for that, and this corrects for it the other way. So I would say this would be one of, well, maybe this is 3 separate algorithms. So the main one, at the end, it calls check club change as a return function, which is just so much more than is expected of you guys, but it was super cool. So yes, I'm definitely going to use that as my algorithm. For the abstraction, we'll get, I think this simplifies things, but we'll get to that as the algorithm. So my algorithm is going to be the oval. Mr. Drusi, are you sure on that? Oval? Mr. Drusi. Are you muted? Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien, ¿y tú? You're probably muted, or maybe I am.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away from the computer for a second. What was the question?
I can't, I want to be positive here. The algorithm is an oval, correct?
I can double check that real quick.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to call the algorithm an oval. And what did we decide? We decided on check club change as the sub, or includes 2 other algorithms, but the main algorithm is our primary function, the output screen, on event output screen button. So let's go here, output.
Confirmed.
Okay.
Oval, algorithm.
All right. So
O is for algorithm. No?
Sure. That doesn't really work, but okay. On event, output. Okay, so this is our primary algorithm. Is there a way to... Well, it doesn't really... it's clear what's going on here. Can I go past that? What if I start higher? That's a little better. Okay, so that's our primary algorithm, and I want to go ahead and highlight or put another oval around the sub-algorithm, which is the check club change, which uses the return function. And I am going to copy those two into my written response, which this is this one. I'm gonna, no. I might have put a comment in there to explain what it does, because comments are professional and it would look cool. But let's copy this and put this in my 2C. And I'm also going to include, I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I'm going to include the sub function, which is check club change. We're going to highlight and Control C and put that below and make it look good, just because why not? Is there a way to clean this up even more? And there we go. And in my response, I would talk about what I just talked about how this is the primary algorithm for the entire program is the if-else statement that checks for the club based on increasing the club lengths, and then sets the output club selection using a return function. The return function uses multiple algorithms by running check. Well, this one, geez. Oh, I would include this also, because this I have another function inside of this. I don't want to overwhelm the reader with too much, but I definitely would mention the fact that my check club change, which is my sub algorithm, uses its own sub algorithm, which is check radio button. And wow, this is a good app. I'm pleased with myself. So yeah, actually I am going to include that oval 3. You do not need 3 ovals. I'm not even positive you need 2 ovals. But you do need the oval around the whatever one you're counting as your main algorithm. And then you talk about it as an algorithm, and you talk about how it uses at least 2 other algorithms. And so yeah, that's what would be written in this area of 2C, responding to this. Yeah, marked with an oval in section 3. Needs to be fundamental, so it's your main algorithm, essentially, if you have a main one. Needs to be done individually. Include 2 or more algorithms. Integrate mathematical logic. Describe how each algorithm within your selected. So just say what it does and how it works with the other 2, and how it fits into the intended purpose of the entire program. Okay, and now the last one, the abstraction. Let's take a look at this. It's rows 7 and 8. We need to student developed abstraction, and so that means we can't use count event handlers as the abstraction, although I don't think, because the onEvent uses a function, I know I've heard before, steer away from onEvents as your abstraction. Um, I'm very frustrated because I don't know how the algorithm could be something other than an abstraction. It pretty much has to be an abstraction because it is using something complicated, or it simplifies things by doing, subtasks. Let's take a look at it further. Yeah, so it can't be event handlers, that sort of thing. The code segment consisting of the abstraction is not included in the root. Okay, so make sure you copy and paste it into the section of 2D, which is right here, above the written response for it. And it needs to be identified, the rectangle, and so on. Responses should not be personal or should not be penalized. Explain that are not developed by the student. Okay, so in other words, you can earn row 8 without earning row 7, but there's no reason not to earn both. The explanation is not applied to the selected abstraction. The abstraction is not explicitly identified. Abstractions are procedures. Another word for procedure is a function. Parameters, lists. Okay, lists collected. So an array is another word for a list. Okay, so let's look for something that simplifies something else. This definitely simplifies things. Find midpoints is the function that we used for, because the custom distances, in order to find the right club, we would need to find the midpoint between these two custom distances and use that for our comparison in our main function. That definitely simplifies things. But where is that used? Apply distances and find midpoints. Okay, so it simplifies things because it retrieves leading up to this, the function apply distances, which is this one, that gets whatever the user has put in, or if they hit reset, it when they hit apply distances, it goes to the club selection, the main input page, regardless if they are on their custom or default. Okay, so that creates an array called dists, and then this is dists, and it would I incorporate both of these? Yeah, I would incorporate both of these in my my explanation, because this is showing that we are creating an array or replacing the existing array with the distance, or with the user input from the slider, whether, like I said, whether custom or otherwise. And then with that list called dists, we are finding the average between them and creating a new array that is actually what we're going to use for the comparison in the main function. That's essentially what I would be saying. I would incorporate, I would put both of these in here. Yeah, this is 2D. Okay, and you can see why it's probably a good idea to use meaningful function names and meaningful variable names. Yes, this is array, but array is still a variable. And then the explanation would be what I was saying about how it simplifies things because this function works no matter what the user puts in for their distances. Whether, it simplifies things. I think that's what they're looking for. And it's also such a cool function that I don't know how they could take points off or not count it. Find midpoints. I think the whole thing would be my abstraction. Okay, and that's it, other than recording the video, which, just hold up the camera and record it, or the other options. And so now I can go ahead and print this, and you could save to Google Drive or as a PDF and upload it that way. Again, make sure your name isn't anywhere on it, like in the file name. I guess the file name, let's see what comes up as the default file name, or the file name. Yeah, it comes up with the default file name being the name of that PDF, just that. I would change that to the name of your app code, or something generic. But I would take out Baker Franke, although I'm positive they get some with that file name, and I don't think they would take off, but let's be professional and do things correctly. And so that would be it for handing stuff in or completing the tasks. So there we go, just did a whole project, counting the videos, which actually, let's do this. If you YouTube search Mr. Holt, you can find this one, and this is where you can subscribe if you want. It doesn't really matter. And go to videos, and you can see, well, this one is this. All of the part 1 through 6 was where we created our slider, or our golf club function, and of course all the other views which people are watching seems to be in chunks. Like, we're looking for something in the 125 to 150 range, means everyone's seeing it, and these are kind of going up in chunks. But either way, this is where you would find all that information, and also you are responsible for the stuff that we say on stream. This is class. Just because you're not in school doesn't mean you're excused from schoolwork. So I'm still getting a lot of emails with questions about things that we are covering on stream, so that counts as responding. And it's a lot of the same questions, so I know who's not watching the videos. And try to find the answer to the questions between the videos and the playlist that we've provided. Every question is there somewhere, except for things like debugging questions, which I guess we can go on to now, unless there are other questions. Thank you, Benlot. Yes, an algorithm is an oval. Good. Thank you. So where were we? We had this question was answered. Yes, go ahead and ask the question. And okay, line 270 of this person's app. I'm not sure how long or how useful it would be for everyone to hang out and watch this, but it might be interesting. Let's see here. So this app appears to be a Frogger clone, which is fine. Do they get points for... It looks different than it was a second ago when I was looking at it. Perhaps the person is editing it as they're watching this. Yeah, there was. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was these buttons. I wonder if those things are supposed to move. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Gosh, this is a lot of code. Awesome. Wow, and some parameters. This is gold. I love it. Look at all the colors. It's beautiful. The question was about line 270. Really? Have color. Oh gosh. Okay. My code is finished but not working, especially line 270. It's supposed to be like a crossy road, but some reason my objects won't move. Okay, so you want... Okay, so usually... I don't know why my thing is so... Oh, because I'm not in Remix. There we go. A lot of times, local variables... When in doubt, you probably want things to be global variables, unless it's something that you want to change every time unless it's something that you only need inside that function. So, have color is giving random, I'm guessing these are random RGB. I haven't found where it is yet. I'll go back and look at it. Color 1, less than 60. Wow, that's good stuff. If pale or faint or close. Enemy color, enemy color, enemy color. Okay, so where do we use have color? Can we find? Var color is have color. Var color is a function, so that means it's got to be a return function. Have color does return color. I think you might be getting over your skis a little bit with are you using color index stuff for enemy color? Jeez Louise. Yeah, I guess these could be, it looks like local variables would be fine. Return color, so I've already forgotten. Have color gets used in move fo. So then we have color index 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, those are getting random colors. Good. Okay, take obstacles is a function. Where is take obstacles? If blocker 1 equals 1, if blocker equals 1, okay, so this is just blocker, set position of blocker, image 1. Variable blocker is random number 1 through 3. What happens if we make this a local? I think it might be broken. Nope. Is it even getting to that? Let's console log here. Okay, so it is getting to that. Let's try here. I know this is random number, so it might take a few to show up. Okay, it is getting blocker. Well, that would work regardless. Blocker, if blocker equals 1, set property of blocker image 1, set the color to color 1, color 2, color 3. Jeez. Wow, I'm more and more impressed with this. Set position. Okay, so we are setting position when we call okay, move foe. ID1, ID2, ID3. Where are we calling? God. Where are we calling move foe? Motorbike foe, health foe, air foe. Okay, move foe.
I don't know if did you see it in the chat, Mr. Holt? It's supposed to be like crossing road, but the vehicles will not move properly.
I got that in the question. We are trying to work through the move foe. Take obstacle, take bonus element. Jeez, pace increaser, level number. Okay, so if you have a timed loop, I think it has to do with your timed loop that it's not, so it's being called when you call move foe, but you're setting position after it. How do you do timed loop and then other things? I wonder if all of this needs to be inside of the timed loop. Ha! Ha! And it comes back. You had the code there. Okay, so the time loop is setting new positions and then checking for things. And if, let's see here, what happens if we... Ha! Good stuff. Oh, what did I do? Okay, so you've got some issues with the play again stuff, but we've definitely got the timed loop. Am I hitting invisible things? Oh, I think one is probably... Is one the motorcycle? Did I get a point? I guess I did get... Oh, points for every Y. Oh, you have to... Weird. You get a point. I don't know about that. I'm not too worried about the score. Wow. That's good stuff. Okay. So that's the key. That's a good tip for everyone, that timed loops.
Yeah, I was gonna say the numbers are the levels probably, and then that's what Mary said in the chat. So
Yeah.
1s, 2s, and 3s. Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't... There's nothing there. Oh, that's creative. I like that.
It's not supposed to move, so it's supposed to say level 1, and then I guess probably disappear after a while. But
I kind of like the idea that the level number is just something that's floating across the screen. I've never seen that before. That doesn't bug me at all. That would be a design choice. Like, it's just like level 2, and keeps coming around. But yeah, I don't think your deaths, or I don't know what does the lightning do. Well, let's see what we're getting in the set property, bonus element, line 139. That might be where we call it for the help on this one.
and it looks like the shift is boosting. You can like boost to go faster, I guess.
Shift is what?
Boost. And gets rid of the blockers, maybe? I don't know. Oh, or it goes through them? It still seems like there's some refinement that needs to go on, but
Yeah.
it's on the right. It's great.
You also
Great
could demonstrate this video without showing the stuff that breaks. I don't know. But yeah, you have something really good here, and work through some more of the debugging if you have questions. We can take a look at it later, I think. Okay, so we'll go ahead and count that one as done, and I'm not going to post the share for this. You can just do what we did, which was put everything inside that timed loop. Which something that's timed loop we didn't use in our example app, and we didn't do anything with audio, which is something I might have wanted to do, but yeah, I might do something else with a time loop just to have fun. To update function, getting a warning. Okay, let's take a look at this. Jeopardy challenge. Okay, go to choose the answer, simply press on the option. Okay, capital is Auckland. Nope. Was that the issue? Okay, on event, set screen. You don't have a lot of stuff going on here. You have some functions which aren't doing anything. Oh, you can't, I don't think you can have multiple, I need to go here, multiple things in the event handler. So I would spread that out into multiple event handlers. So this would be, what do we want? We want answer D1, answer A1, and answer C1. And these should all get set screen. Why didn't that work? That was weird. Get this and let's run it. Okay, at least we're getting set screen. And I don't know, for no reason other than the way I think of things, I would put the event handlers in the order that they show up. So we have home screen, we have start button, and start game. And this is just a good tip for organization of things. So this is start of the game. And this is and this is, we gotta wrap up soon. What else do we have? We have yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then you would need to call the functions, the correct function there, and you would also need to add a lot more things, but that's why that one is broken. Okay, and so that was this one. Let's see if we can get through these quickly. Okay, for the game, I need to make already started. Finish a. Okay, are you here today? Who is this person? Are you here? This was yesterday. If you have your work in the you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and open it now, and we'll see what the consequences are. I don't think anybody is doing their work in the Unit 5 app, and you've had plenty of time to look back at that unit for the lessons that have all the things that all the tools you might be using in your app, plus there's what's called documentation for every single block that you might want to use explanations and examples. So I am going to go ahead and assign this section so that everybody can, if they have, some people were saying that they have their code, they started their code in there, even though I suggested otherwise. If they do have their code in there now, oh, did I screw it up? Create task, nope. Assign, create task. Assign to unit, assign to section. There we go. So that should solve some people's problems. And if you absolutely need something from Unit 5, we can figure out a time to come in and we'll flip it back at some point. Again, unfortunately, you can't have both up for some reason, even though I still have the ability to hide and make visible. So who knows what's up with that. I want to make an insult generator. Yeah, that's fine. As clearly an algorithm, any sort of generator would be an algorithm, and figure out a way to throw an abstraction in there and keep it appropriate. But the idea of having the user have inputs and then something coming out, some sort of calculator sort of thing, that would be fine. And okay, and so I think that's where we're going to call it. do you have anything else to add, Mr. Druzy?
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions, let us know. And
Maybe real quick, since interims are due like next week for us, in terms of grades that you're gonna see in my class, I have Unit 15, Unit 5 Lesson 15 progress check, Unit 5 Lesson 16 progress check, and then Unit 5 Lesson 17 Canvas Painter. Those are going to be the three things that are um, graded for the interims. And then for interims, since we're on a pass, no pass, if you are missing, well, we only have 3 assignments, but I don't think it really applies to anyone in my class. If you're missing half the assignments, you're going to be in danger of not passing, and you'll get a notification for that. So you just got to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's it.
There we go. That'll be the same for my class. Just make sure you have. Oh well, I guess we just closed it off. Mr. Druzy, do you know the date for interims?
For seniors, I know it's Monday at 5 p.m. We have to have things done, and then everyone else is the 18th. So it's the next Monday. So seniors are the 11th by 5 p.m. and then everyone else is the 18th by 5 p.m. for interims.
Okay, so well, we're already past the deadline. So the deadline was a couple weeks ago for the lesson 15 stuff. So if you don't have it done, it's just going to go in as not done. And that will be that.
You're just going to have to, because of the way code.org works, we'll be flipping it back and forth, and you just got to get the work done, though. So get your work done when you can.
Yeah. So there's that. If you haven't got it done, there'll still be an opportunity to get it done for partial credit to make sure you get into the pass range of the quarter. But we're going to grade it as is. And so that's going to be the case. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Druzy? Even though I just asked anything.
No, I think I'm all set.
Check the class page for stream time on Monday, if there is one on Monday. But I'll let you know that there isn't going to be one on Monday if there isn't. And we'll keep updating the way we have it. The times are usually updated the night before, and definitely by the time you wake up. And I'll see you guys on the next time. Okay? Adios.